Welcome to Move, Metabolic Optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started. Hey, it's Dr. Dwain Woode. Welcome back to Move, Metabolic Optimization via exercise. You know, the sun is almost set, and the rays are just about pushing down on the horizon in front of me. And this is a great time to talk about something we don't always get into, and that's the pause, the power of a pause. And it's the end of the week, well, close to the end of the week for most of us. And we've had an interesting, for some of us, we've had an interesting week. And this week has been an interesting one for me. Lots of things going on, lots of busyness, lots of new things on my series, new things on the show. We are having some things change in the office, and so busy getting things packed up. And sometimes the tendency is to just push from one thing to the next, continuing to just get to that next thing. And that's great for getting things done, because we actually do get some things done. But in terms of our ability to be consistent and our ability to keep going long term, that really doesn't serve us well. You see, we talk about consistency, but sometimes we do things that will take that consistency away from us and actually cause more damage. You know, I think back to my own journey through Move. The walks, the early mornings, the late nights of sometimes scrambling to get the workout in, get the walk in. And what I learned over that time is that the benefit of a pause sometimes is that it lets the lessons land, those life lessons. It lets them become real. I know that sometimes it is so easy to just push through and push past. And when we do that, we miss a golden opportunity to have those lessons resonate. There are connections that we make in the pause. There are things that become clear during the pause that we would not normally have seen, heard, or connections we would not have made if it weren't for that. And so I'm heading up this hill here. You hear me breathing a little faster.
So that pause gives us a perspective that we would not normally have seen, would not have felt, would not have gotten. And so the value of that is a perspective. Is not to basically give up on what we're doing. The purpose of a pause is to reflect. It's to give us some perspective. When we're pushing all the time, we get so caught up in the doing that we lose sight of the meaning of what we're doing. And pause just allows us to take a 800 foot, 1,000 foot view of where we are, what we're doing, where we're going. And when we do that, then we're more likely to maintain and to be consistent because we see that direction. It's kind of like being on the ground and not getting a bird's eye view of what's happening around you. You can get pigeonholed into thinking that things are looking a certain way, or things are a certain way, when in fact and in actuality, it's not that way at all. I want to think about my journey through MOVE, metabolic optimization via exercise. There were times when I thought there was something going on in my body because I had a perspective from down here. But then pulling back and looking at my labs, looking at the trajectory that I was on and seeing the things that had changed, I got a different perspective. And I then understood that maybe change wasn't happening as quickly as I thought it should, but change was happening nonetheless. And that gave me a different idea of what I needed to be doing. So there is also biology that comes from stillness. The body is designed to rest. That's why we have that circadian rhythm where we are sleeping during a particular time of the 24-hour period, and that's designed. Even as our hearts are beating, there is that pause in between. There's like lub, dub, lub, dub, lub, dub. Everything is designed and built to have a time of rest, a time of pause. Between every heartbeat, there's a tiny moment when there's a pause, right? So the rest doesn't weaken the rhythm, it actually strengthens it, because that allows the heart, those muscles, to build up the pressure that it needs to pump the blood during the next cycle, right? Systolic and diastolic. Let me say this. Let this be just a kind of thought for you. If everything in our body is designed so that there is a pause, right? Even as nerves are moving and hormones are moving, and hormones are recirculating. What does that mean for us in our lives as we're going through this process as well? And as I'm walking here, going up a little hill, came up the other side, and this is actually a great place. This is a great place for a pause, right? Yeah, as I came from down there, you see it? Oh, and actually this is a good spot too, because I see the sun right there, those last rays. And I'm gonna turn around so you can get a good perspective of that right behind me, right over there. See as it's starting to just dip below those leaves on the horizon. So how do we use a pause? What do we do when we get the pause? Number one, we want to reflect. So ask, what did this week, for example, what does it teach me? Or what did this thing that I just came through, what did it teach me? What am I supposed to learn? Not necessarily what didn't work, but what worked, and how can I use that into the future? I need to take a brief break here. Next, we want to release. Number two, let go of the things that drained you. Let go of the things that didn't sustain you. Let go of the things that seem to want to pull at your energies. Because those are the things that if we're not careful, we'll take with us once we got over the pause, once we start going again. And then we want to reset. Realign your next step. So you've seen the things that worked. We've released the things that didn't work. And we're about to start again. And so what is that next step? What are those things that we want to take with us into the next step that we're doing? And how do we reset to be able to do that, right? So reflect, release, and reset. Because when you pause intentionally, your next move isn't random. The next move is built on a concept of refinement and a concept of energy, because we've taken the time to look at what we're doing. Okay? So let's go ahead and get back into our walk. So as the sun goes down, it's symbolic, right? And so as we pause, as we move there, dip behind those trees, it's symbolic. As we move into our next week coming up, on Sunday, right, we want to move and we want to embody the things that we're doing, the emotional addition. What does that mean for me personally? How does what I'm doing right now, how does that take me in my personal direction? What does that mean? What has this week been like? And what does that mean going into the future? So as we round this corner, as you just saw me do, and as we think about where we're heading next, what do I have to reflect on? What do I have to release? And what do I have to reset? What are those things that are going to serve me? And what are those things that are not going to serve me? You've got today, you've got tomorrow to kind of think about that. It's been a trying week. It's been a busy week. It's been a week full of changes for some of us, full of challenges for others, but a week of learning nonetheless. And so these pauses allow us to look at what's been going on in our lives. Because every week, every activity comes with its own rhythm. And built into that rhythm is this pause. If we are mindful, if we are paying attention, then we use those strategically to take us where we want to go. So this embodiment of where we're heading, this embodiment of the move, metabolic optimization via exercise, is a powerful one because it takes us and moves us closer to our goal and closer to our destiny. Hey, I'm always excited when I get to hang out with you. I'm always glad that we get to move together. We get to walk together. We get to strength train together. We get to stretch together. So in this episode, here's your pause. Here's your pause. You ready? This is your refill moment. I want you to take it. I want you to reflect. I want you to release. I want you to reset. I want you to breathe. That's the other thing that the pause does. And as we move into the next week coming up, we're going to realign with our purpose. We're going to reset, look at those things, and say, okay, where am I going? What do I need to do to be successful? Until then, keep moving. That's right. Keep showing up. Keep doing what you need to do in your lives, in your world, to be successful. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted. And we're moving. We're not stopping. We're resetting. We're reflecting. And we're taking that next step. All right, we'll see you later at our next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you for being a part of Move Today. Remember, transformation isn't built in hype. It's built in consistent steps. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Keep showing up, keep stacking your wins, and keep moving forward with us. This is Move.